In business news now, local manufacturers are more pessimistic about the business outlook over the next 6 months due to supply chain challenges and operational cost pressures. According to a quarterly survey by the Economic Development Board, a net weighted balance of 20% of manufacturers are downbeat compared with 8% last quarter. Now, net weighted balance is the difference between positive and negative responses. It's used as a gauge for business sentiment. The electronics cluster is the most pessimistic. A net weighted average of 37% of firms expect weakened business conditions given rapidly softening demand for computers and smartphones. Only the transport engineering cluster is optimistic. A net weighted average of 36% of firms expect business conditions to improve over the next 6 months as air travel bounces back. A majority of manufacturers expect employment levels in Q4 to remain similar to Q3. Meanwhile, industries in the services sector remain optimistic about the next 6 months in a similar Department of Statistics survey. Most still expect business to be buoyed by the return of travel and tourism, as well as year-end festivities, as though they are less upbeat than previously polled. The wholesale trade and real estate clusters are less optimistic, affected by declining demand for computers, property cooling measures, and higher interest rates. Overall, the services industries forecast higher revenue and expects to hire more people in the fourth quarter. Now, despite the strong domestic demand, one economist says that Singapore will still see a slowdown in economic growth.
We are a very small and open economy, which is quite reliant on trade, and the export-oriented sectors like electronics, trade, as well as finance and insurance account for a much larger share of Singapore's economy as compared to domestic sectors like retail trade and F&B services. So the resilience in domestic demand alone will not be able to offset the impact from the slowing global economy on Singapore.